Welcome everyone to the European Grand Prix of 1993 live from the Donnington racetrack here in the United Kingdom. It is sure to be a fantastic Grand Prix. Williams need a result, but first, let's see if any breaking news. And Williams have said they absolutely need to get it right in the future Grand Prix after an absolute mare of a Brazilian Grand Prix that cost both of their drivers with errors in the pit stops. Williams say they have absolutely sorted their issues out, but they're giving away too many points early doors. But that's something they need to sort out. They're hoping for a good result here in the Donnington Grand Prix. And what's going wrong with Michael Andretti, who's still struggling after 2 Grand Prix and 4 pre-season tests. He's still massively struggling with the car and he's getting caught up in incidents that he probably shouldn't be getting caught up in. But McLaren said they've got his full support, but how long is that going to go when the driver at the front is scoring all the points? Let's see how long that plays out. And FIA will discuss banning driver aids. After a recent discussion about Formula 1 costing a little bit too much, the FIA said it will ban some of the systems in place that cost an absolute fortune. Traction control and active suspension being the 2 main ones. But with talks to be held soon, let's see how that plays out. But I know a lot of teams are very keen on that being sorted out, but we'll bring you that news when we know it. But yes, it is now time for the Donnington Grand Prix, the European Grand Prix, as you wish. Let's get straight to the track. We're live on the grid now, and we have got a technical issue to bring to you. No grid rundown today, so we're going to have a look at it the old-fashioned way. So let's take a quick look as Damon Hill is not on pole position, so I've done that wrong already. Technical glitches here, there, and everywhere. Senna's on pole with Damon Hill in 2nd place. Nannini, a fantastic 30 out-qualified game in 4th place. Then you've got the 2 Benettons, Brundle out-qualifying his teammate. Cracking result for the 2 Ligiers. Great result for the 2 Lotus cars as well, but let's get straight to the Grand Prix. We're ready to get off the start. The 2 Williams at the front. Nannini after a fantastic qualifying session, and we're away. Game off to a shocker once again. Will it ever change? We don't know, but it's Senna that dives towards turn 1, and he sweeps round the outside of his British teammate, but he gets a better run down the hill and he remains in the lead of this Grand Prix. But it's Nannini behind. Brundle has jumped game in the McLaren, and Eric Comas is ahead of Michael Schumacher. A fantastic start from the Ligier driver. They are looking to push their car to the limit this weekend to see where they are in the pecking order. But Senna leads, Hill second still. But a little mistake there from Senna. He says he absolutely needs a flawless weekend, and he started off incredibly well. And we're looking back at the grid now, and Game looks to have a run on Martin Brundle in the Benetton. The same powering both cars, and he has a look, but he's not quite close enough. And he does need to be mindful of the Ligier of Eric Comas, who is tucked up behind him. But we come to the first hairpin of the track for the first time today, and he rounds the corner. And he'll be looking to get a move because he'll be able to see the 2 Williams. He'll be able to see Senna actually, who's rounding the final corner now to complete the first lap of the Grand Prix. He is starting to pull away at the front, and that's something that he needs to be mindful about. Williams, of course, only 2 rounds in, but yet to win a Grand Prix this season. But Game now on the coattails of Martin Brundle's Benetton. Surely a move is imminent. And Schumacher doesn't look like he's putting too much pressure on Eric Comas just yet, but we're only a couple of laps into the Grand Prix, so we'll let it all play out as Nannini. Oh, it's a great result on the inside. Is he going to get the car stopped? And Martin Brundle's going to come up the inside, and he doesn't repass. Game up into 4th place now. Can he do anything about Nannini? Now, Nannini probably a little bit ahead of where that Ferrari should have been. But we'll see. But Hill has closed right up to his teammate Senna. Hill seems to have had the better of Senna in terms of pace over the season so far. Still yet to win a Grand Prix, and they both run a little bit off track. Easily done there. and they round. It's a quick right-hander, and it sweeps before the run down to the chicane. But Nannini's getting involved. And he's bringing game the McLaren driver, who is a few meters back now, but Damon Hill tries to go up the inside, and he's run off the track. He's put himself out of position. Is that going to allow Alessandro Nannini a chance to dive up the inside? It has. Hill tries to squeeze him as much as he can. Beautiful driving from the pair, and the Ferrari driver is up into second place. Damon Hill trying too much on his teammate into the chicane, couldn't get the car stopped in time. And that's him down into third place, but he's left himself vulnerable now to the McLaren, the 1991 world champion. And is he going to dive up the inside? He's not, but he tried to defend it. He's dipped it out wide. An awful couple of corners for Damon Hill, and that is going to allow game down the hill into third place. So Hill has gone from trying to make a move for the lead to fourth place in just a few corners. But we review the footage now late on in the lap. And Nannini defending there from game. But as he defended thin air, he's not going to allow game a run out of the chicane. It's all about the exit of the second part of that chicane. He's going to dive up the inside. Oh, from a long distance. Had it committed. Absolutely fantastic on the brakes. Nannini was very generous with the space he offered on the apex, and that's game up into second place, and then he's dropped down into third. Hill will be looking to get back past the Ferrari. We believe, obviously, the Williams to be quicker than the Ferrari, as Alesi is having an absolute shocker, currently out of the points. But someone who isn't having a shocker, it's Eric Comas, who was a bit downbeat after the South African Grand Prix, but since they brought the 1993 car to Brazil, could have won the Grand Prix. Absolutely certain they would have won the Grand Prix had Mika Hakkinen not been taken out at the start, so they knew their pace was strong. But he's separating the two Benettons at the moment, and he's got quite a comfortable eye on Eric Comas. But another fantastic drive currently is Rubens Barrichello, and the two Lotus cars that are in shot behind, and it's Johnny Herbert behind Rubens Barrichello, and this is for 8th and 9th, so currently scoring points. Fantastic. The Jordan looks a bit more rounded this year. They've got a fantastic young driver in Rubens Barrichello. So it's wonderful. But this is Michael Andretti, who has been struggling, but currently in 10th place. I may have got the positions from early on a bit warped. No, my apologies, in 11th place. And no, I tell an absolute lie. It is 10th place. And the commentary is all over the place, it would seem. But currently, if it stays like this, on track to score his first World Championship point, and hopefully a bit of confidence to go with it. But let's see how the race plays out. It's a long way to go. We quickly cut to Senna, and he's being put under massive amounts of pressure from the McLaren driver. He's looking in his mirrors at his old car, his old team, his old nemesis. He's starting to come like that, but they get on fairly well. And Senna's gone off the track. That's going to allow game up the inside and into the lead of the European Grand Prix. But Senna's surely going to come back at him. But he's got to be mindful. He's got Nannini behind him. He's got Damon Hill behind him. And Ayrton Senna is down into second place and game leads. Fantastic. What's going on with that Williams car? Pre-season, they looked an absolute rocket ship. But it's just not going well for them in recent Grand Prix. Still the title favourites, however. That may change if results stay the same. And we're looking at Gerhard Berger, who cannot wait for the San Marino Grand Prix, where Minardi and Audi bring what should be their complete 1993 package. And with the rumours that active suspension could be disappearing for 1994... I wonder how they'll play this. But game's in. He pits the first to pit. That explained the pace he had on everyone else at the start. But we're away. We are away, and he's going to come out, by the looks of things, behind Comas, but ahead of Michael Schumacher. He may have some overtaking to do if he wants to get back to the front, but we're looking at Damon Hill, who's actually passed Nannini somewhere. We'll try and get that footage, and Hill comes to a stop. Oh, and he's clipped. He's clipped by Alessandro Nannini. He's out of the Grand Prix. The rear wing gone, but it looks like the car was coming to a sudden stop anyway. Damon Hill is out of the... And Senna's out. Senna is out of the Grand Prix as well. They're in tandem. They have both retired. Look, Nannini's lost a front wing. Oh, we know he's lost a front wing. He went into the back of a hill. But Nannini passes the stricken other Williams, and Martin Brundle leads the Grand Prix because Nannini is going to come diving into the pits. But Alessandro into the pits. Martin Brundle leads the Grand Prix. This is on Bauber Hill. Let's listen. Car Caesar's gearbox gone, and he's clipped by Nannini, who clearly has nowhere else to go. And oh my, but we're looking at Senna. It looks like the gearbox just seizes into the corner. It spins him round. He cannot select a gear to get going again. Oh, that is shocking. Absolutely shocking. That's incredibly unlucky there. Oh, that's both Williams out of the Grand Prix. And Game's down in third, and he's got Eric Comas and Martin Brundle ahead of him, who are no stopping it would seem, but he's got absolutely blistering pace. So we're expecting him to win this Grand Prix, we assume, as we look back at Eric Comas there, who didn't put up too much of a fight, knew the win, wasn't on today, but back-to-back podiums, possibly. Ligier for the first time. But we're going to be looking at, and we've cut to Martin Brundle defending his lead, and he probably is going to defend this. Still yet to win a Grand Prix. He would have been disappointed to see his team, well, disappointed, been pleased and somewhat disappointed last year to see his teammate win the Italian Grand Prix and take his debut victory. But Martin Brundle's been fantastic. Slow start to the year, but this has been a positive step for him. But Game is going to dive up the inside, and Brundle doesn't put up too much of a fight. I think he's played that smart there. Fresh tyres for the former world champion, and it looks as though he's going to take all 25 points, while the two Williams drivers will take none. And that is exactly what the case is. He rounds the second to last corner and on his route to the final corner, and he rounds that now. We can see the live pictures. He is going to win on home soil for the first time, but it's not going to count because it's the European Grand Prix. But he wins the Donnington Grand Prix, and Brundle comes home second. A fantastic third for Eric Comas. Schumacher's going to come home in fourth place to round off a cracking Benetton weekend, but a Lotus of Johnny Herbert and Rubens Barrichello, then followed by Mika Hakkinen. Nannini recovered to score points in the end. But the Grand Prix winner of today, and taking home another 25 points and returning to the top of the championship, is Game. Fantastic drive. And this is the confirmed and the final classification for this afternoon's Grand Prix. Game there confirmed as the winner, with Martin Brundle and Eric Comas sharing the podium with him. Michael Schumacher not a bit lacking of pace, but fourth place will do him very nicely. Fantastic Johnny Herbert and Rubens Barrichello. Lotus scoring points for the first time in a very long time. Nannini recovered to 8th, and he finished just behind a struggling Mika Hakkinen, who was reporting car issues. But the big story of today is Senna and Hill double DNF. And the championship standings, Game 54 points. He's got a 12-point lead on Michael Schumacher. But the big story here is he's over a win ahead of Senna, and over even more, he's over a win ahead of Senna and Hill. That could be an interesting factor. Is it Schumacher versus Game for the World Championship this season? And Comas chucking his name in the hat. But let's see what the team's doing. Benetton lead the Constructors' Championship, with McLaren only really getting scored by 1 point scorer, with Michael Andretti just finishing outside the points yet again. And Williams, but they're only 5 ahead of Ligier. That will not do too well. Ferrari have started the season quite poorly. But that's what we've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed the European Grand Prix. And with San Marino fast approaching, Williams have got a lot of answering to do. And Benetton and McLaren will push forward. But Benetton will be pleased. Game will be pleased. McLaren will be pleased with 50% of their drivers. But Williams are going to be absolutely fuming. Let's see what all transpires for the San Marino Grand Prix very soon. Bye bye.